A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and a very hot evening if you're out there at the Jalan Besar Stadium. It is the final match week of the 2024-2025 campaign. What a showdown we have this evening to kickstart the weekend's action. It's BG Tampines Rovers, who will finish the season second in the table, up against the recently crowned Lion City Sailors, the SPL champions. Honor and pride at stake tonight as the top two teams go head-to-head for the last time this season. Also kicking off tonight at 6 p.m. over at our Tampines hub is the match between Hougang United and DPMM. The Brunei side riding the crest of a wave, unbeaten in 9 out of their last 10 games across all competitions. 2 games tomorrow night as well. Albirex and Balestier will go head-to-head in a clash of 4th versus 5th, while Tanjung Pagar will be looking to try to end a disappointing season on a high when they entertain the Eagles of Geylang International. Let's take a quick look at the table heading into the final week of matches. And no surprises, it's LCS at the top. They have an 8-point lead over BG Tampines Rovers. More than enough to seal the SPL title this season. 10 points behind BG Tampines are Geylang International in third, marking the highest finish since 2003. Balestier Khalsa, they're poised to finish in 4th place. Even though they are taking on Albirex Niigata. They should finish 4th because of a better goal difference. Brunei DPMM could leapfrog Albirex, depending on this weekend's results. So that's an interesting one to look out for. Hougang have done enough with 7th place. They're ahead of the Young Lions and Tanjung Pagar United at the foot of the table. So there we have it, just one more weekend to go. Very warm welcome. This is the SPL studio with me, Colette Wong, alongside former SPL player and football commentator Rish Roshan Rai. I have said this many times, it's the final weekend of the 2024-2025 campaign, a season that started, Roshan, 12 months ago. We've now come to the finish line. Now, before we actually get into tonight's nitty-gritty of tonight's match, I just wanted to ask you, looking back at the season, what are some of your highlight moments from what we've had over the last 12 months?
Well, I don't know. Where do I even begin?
Yeah,
it's a season that's gone on for more than a year now, and it's been quite a good season in terms of some of the football that we've seen played.
Yep.
I think we've had some great storylines. Doi is one of them. You know, the fact that he scored something like 44 goals in the league and 50 goals in all competitions. Would it be nice to have seen him go to 50 goals in the SPL? Who knows? You know, maybe that's a possibility for him.
We've got
we'll see.
exactly.
But, you know, he's broken the record there, so that was a really good storyline.
Yeah.
The Lion City Sailors winning the title is another interesting one, because you're starting to wonder if this could be the beginning of like a bit of a dynasty for them.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely,
whether it's
and why not?
something they're able to build on. We saw them win the title in 2021, but I don't think they really were able to build on that and use that as a platform to push on and become a dominant force in Singapore football. So I wonder if we're starting to see now, you know, obviously with time we'll be able to really tell, but you know, what a campaign it was for them winning the title, and they had to manage AFC Champions League 2, continental football as well. They're also into the semi-final of the Singapore Cup, and they were playing in the AFF Club Championships as well. So, you know, for them, it's been a long season. It's been a hard season. They've got a squad built to compete on various fronts, but they were so good in the league. The most consistent side. I wouldn't necessarily say they were the most entertaining, but they got the job done. They scored the most goals, and they were the best side in terms of the defense, and the consistency got them through. Well,
they've won it at a canter, really, a couple of matches to go, and thoroughly deserved. So big congratulations to the Lion City Sailors on winning this season's campaign. Now let's shift our focus to tonight's game, and we're going to start with the visitors, who are the champions, Lion City Sailors. 71 points in the table, an 8-point lead over BG Tampines. They came so close to winning the ACL2 as well. I thought it was a terrific final against Sharjah, but despite coming up short there, you would say a successful campaign altogether, wouldn't you?
Yeah, of course, of course. I think really successful for the Sailors. Well, actually, let me pull that back a little bit, because I think they need to go and win the Singapore Cup for it to be a great season for them. But you know, I think the fact that they got the job done in the league, everyone expected them to go and win the SPL, and for a side with that sort of investment and that sort of quality, they should be winning titles in Singapore. But I don't think it's just enough for them as a club in terms of their ambitions and how they want to grow the brand, how they want to be seen. It's not good enough for them to just, you know, be the top side in Singapore. They want to, you know, make sure that they're a name on the continental stage, and that AFC Champions League 2 run would have done wonders for the confidence of people at the club. You know, it sort of sends a message as if to say, we're on the right track, we're headed in the right direction. You know, this is what is possible for us. You know, we can be bigger than just the SPL, for example.
So let me just interject there. They're in the right direction. What do they then need to get to that destination?
I mean, I think they're already taking some great steps. The fact that, you know, this is a club that's been built very solidly since they've been established. It's only been 5 years. So, you know, even if you look across the causeway with Johor, it took some time for them to really establish that dominance and to figure out, you know, their identity and what they were as a club. And you're seeing it with the Lion City Sailors now as well. You know, they've got a great academy system going for them.
True.
And so, you know, this is not a short-term project. I think it's a long-term thing for the Sailors, and they're bringing in good players into the side. They're starting to see that sort of that development coming through with giving young players opportunities, and also bringing in big names. So it's looking really good for them going forward. So you want to see more of that, a bit of a refresh, maybe a better quality with some of the foreign players that they're bringing in. And see where it goes for them in the longer term.
So do you think, would you see some of the foreign players leaving the club at the end of this season?
Always possible. Always, you know, something that happens in the Singapore Premier League is you see a lot of changes in the setup with clubs, and it's definitely something that I think we'll see with the Lion City Sailors as well.
Yeah. All right. Let's take a look at the lineup, the starting lineup for the visiting side tonight, the Jalan Besar Stadium up against the hosts, BG Tampines Rovers, and it's a very different looking lineup, isn't it? But no surprises, given that there isn't much for them to play for tonight, because they have already wrapped up the league title. Yeah,
already wrapped up the league title. They want to rest players for the Singapore Cup. So it's an opportunity for some of these other players, fringe players, to go out there and get some minutes under the belt, go and impress. You look at the number 62, 17-year-old Joshua Little, making his professional debut. So that will be huge for him. He's been a part of the Lion City Sailors Academy setup for a while now. He's had some training stints in Portugal with Braga, and he was given a chance against JDT in one of their friendlies against them. So I'm excited to see how he goes this evening. It's a 3-4-3 setup. When they sort of have the ball, I think they'll sit back in that 5-4-1. It's a similar sort of side to the one we saw coming up against Balestier when it was that night where they lifted the title. So, you know, I think that's essentially Rankovic is looking at the Singapore Cup and saying that's the bigger priority because the title's done. That's right. Yeah. Okay, let's move on to the host team now, BG Tampines Rovers. They finished second this season on 63 points. It's been a very solid campaign for them for large parts of the season, and they're still in the running in the Singapore Cup as well. If you were part of the BG Tampines setup, would you be relatively satisfied with how it's gone this season? I would be. You know, they have to do things very differently than the Lion City Sailors. You know, they don't have the same budget that the Sailors have, so they have to go about it a very different way. And I think the way that they do go about it, I think there's a lot to admire when it comes to BG Tampines. I think they play some excellent football. They're a lot of fun to watch. They're one of the sides that play, I think, the best football in the league, perhaps. So, you know, this is a team that I thought were really going to push the Lion City Sailors this season, and for a while they did that. And then slowly they started to sort of just fall away in terms of the consistency that wasn't quite there. But you look at Gavin, the head coach, you look at Desmond, they're having a chat. And I think what they've built at the club is, again, I really admire what they've done because they've had to go about it a very different way. They've had to bring through younger players. They've had to find good quality Singaporean talent, put them on longer contracts, and be very smart with the foreign signings that they've been able to bring in. Good scouting, identifying the right sort of players that will fit into their game model, into what they believe as a club, into how they want to play. So I feel like the recruitment has been very good. And the fact that, you know, they've given the Sailors issues when they've come up against. Think back to the 5-0 win, early on in the campaign. I mean, that was brilliant from BG Tampines. So they're one of the few sides, along with Jalan, I think, who've actually caused issues for the Land City Sailors this campaign.
That's right. I mean, we talk about going into a season, they want to win the title. And I know you said yourself that you thought that BG Tampines Rovers would give them a big run for their money this season. This may have been the turning point for LCS because it was a huge 5-0 win for BG Tampines. This was match week 9 back in July. Sorry, I laugh at that goal.
Yeah.
And this really gave you a lot of hope for BG Tampines.
Yeah, it did. I mean, they were looking very good at this stage of the campaign, in a strong run of form. They were winning matches. They were looking really confident. The goals were flowing, and there were contributions from a number of their players. Glenn Quay, Faris Ramli in those areas were contributing in goals and with chance creation as well. They had Kapitovic up front leading the line, and Seya Kunori, who I think has been a fantastic player this campaign. So when I look at this BG Tampines side, I was very hopeful we'd get a nice close title race. It didn't quite pan out that way, but they've still given us some really good moments this season with the way that they've played matches. Made it exciting at the beginning of the season, and hopefully they'll be able to grow and learn and use this and push on in next season's campaign. They're also got potential for silverware in the Singapore Cup. So that could be something that they'll be looking forward to as well.
Well, BG Tampines and one of their players especially came out a couple of days ago to announce his retirement. I believe for the second time in 2 years. I'm talking about Yasser Hanapi, of course, posted this on social media saying it's with a heavy heart that he's decided that it's time. He's went on to thank Tampines and hope you guys are there for tomorrow's game for their final league match here at the Jalan Besar Stadium. He is a great character, a little man, but my goodness, he's so big on the field.
Yeah, I mean, he's played in the league for a very long time now, and it's more than 420 matches, I think, 420 appearances in his career. So, what a career. Congratulations to Yasser Hanapi, a Singapore international, and he made a big contribution, not just to the league, not just to the clubs he was playing for, but also to the country.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, we thought he was done at the end of last season as well. So who knows? This is the SPL, and this is Singapore football. People can come out from nowhere and make a contribution once again. But
absolutely,
he's announced it. Congratulations to him on an excellent career.
Yeah, he's so effective when he comes onto the field, off the bench, and that is where he will be starting tonight. We take a look at the starting 11 for BG Tampines, and they've gone with a strong lineup for this one. They're going out there with the intention to win this.
They want to send a message, I think, BG Tampines here, and there's no real let up in the intensity in terms of the players going out there and making a contribution. You only look at Taufik Suparno, who's being given a rare start. I think it's just his third start in the league this season. Arya Igami also gets an opportunity out on that right-hand side. Two players with a lot of pace, good energy and work rate, but otherwise it's pretty much as strong as it gets for BG Tampines. You look at that back line, very solid. The two controllers in central midfield in Nakamura and Shah Shahiran, and then they've got great options on the bench as well. Faris Ramli is there, Joel Chu, Glenn Quay, Ong Yuen is a talented young player. So again, when you look at BG Tampines and the squad that they've built overall, a really, really good recruitment process, and they've got the quality to go out and really hurt the Land City Sailors tonight when you look at the lineups as well.
Now, we've seen the starting lineups for the two teams. The fans are streaming in as we speak. What kind of match do you expect to see tonight? Something that's going to be really lively?
I would hope so. I think, we're going to see BG Tampines dominate. I think this is, when you look at the lineups, this is a match that they should go on and win. But I think they should look at making a statement here as well. And for the Land City Sailors, I think it's again, league's done, right? So they're looking at the Singapore Cup, and for some of these players, they'll want to show that, give me more of an opportunity to Rankovic. So they could have a few players there who will be keen to impress as well.
Yeah, so some of the players will have a point to prove when they get out there on the pitch. Tonight, kickoff is coming in about 20 minutes, so don't stray too far. We're going to take a very quick break, but plenty more to talk about when we come back. We are live at the Jalan Besar Stadium on this final weekend of the Singapore Premier League season. Stay with us. Be right back. Welcome back to the Jalan Besar Stadium. It is the final match week of the 2024-25 season, and we're counting down to kickoff between the newly crowned SPL champions, Lion City Sailors, who are the visiting side, by the way, up against the home side, BG Tampines Rovers. Well, BG Tampines may have finished second to the Sailors this season, but when you look at their head-to-head results in the SPL, it's been pretty impressive. 1 win, 1 draw, 1 defeat. And when we bring up those head-to-heads, let's have a look. Well, I can tell you there was that 5-0 thrashing back in July when we thought BG Tampines Rovers would really give the Sailors a run for their money. What then happened for them to tail off?
I think, again, just it's been such a long campaign for them. I think not maybe having had that experience of being in a title challenge for this long was a bit difficult for BG Tampines, but they've certainly shown in the games against the Lion City Sailors, as you mentioned, with the head-to-heads, that they're well capable of competing and well capable of hurting this side. So, I think they'll look at next campaign and see where, they can cut out a few errors in their game, get a bit more experience in the side in terms of that, and look at giving it a bit more of a push next season as well.
All right. It is the final game of the season for both BG Tampines and Lion City Sailors. Let's get the thoughts from the two coaches.
Looking forward to it for our own reasons. I think after the last game in Brunei, we want to have some sort of a comeback, because that isn't the way we want to finish our league season. But at the same time, we're playing the semi-finals in 2-3 days, and so it's definitely good to get into some good positive momentum before we play BG.
It's a largely inconsequential game for both sides. So what are you playing for? What kind of attitude do you want to see from your side?
No, like I said, we have our reasons. We want to improve the outcome from our last game. 2, we want to prepare ourselves well for the semi-finals. And lastly, we want to give Yas a good league send-off.
And what do you think would give Tampines the edge over LCS tonight?
No, really doesn't matter. We don't compare ourselves to them. We just focus on ourselves. We want to do better, as always. It's about the next action, next game, next training, and today is the next game. And when we're out there, we just want to do better than we did before.
And lastly, can we see a mix-up in your starting lineup, or is it just all guns ablaze?
No, as always, we play the best available players to help us with whatever plan that we have. Because every game that we play, we want to try to win, try to get the 3 points, and today's no difference.
Not really. I mean, of course, I can give you the cliche answer like everybody say. I mean, it's a game, especially for our guys that didn't play a lot, to put themselves and show themselves against the team as Tampines. So that's the only goal that I'm looking for tonight, and to enjoy the game. I mean, it's the last game of the SPL, and honestly, I don't know the opponent, but I think they also have a good game on Tuesday, so we will see what kind of team they're going to put up. So I just expect the nice game also for the fans, if that's possible.
And you mentioned last match that today was no pressure, so what outcome are you looking for?
Always win, of course. Of course we want to win, don't get me wrong. But like I said, there's no pressure on my players, so I mean, we put a team that didn't play any game together. I mean, it would be crazy for me to expect they're just going to fly through the field. But I mean, we do have some senior players in the team, so I expect a good match. Like I said, I hope we can entertain the crowd.
And it's been a win, a loss and a draw in the league against Tampines. What do you think will be a difference maker between you guys tonight?
Like I said, it's like all these matches that we play against them, there was a lot of mistake. But tonight, I mean, there's nothing to play for. I mean, we especially for us, I mean, we are the champions. So to put any of the players they're going to play next week in a risk, it's not going to be very smart from my side.
Yeah, we are also hoping that it's going to be an entertaining game for us and for the fans watching outside as well. Final game of the season. You've played a number of seasons in the SPL yourself, Roshan. How do you think the players in the tunnel, in the dressing room, are feeling ahead of this one?
Yeah, I think some will be feeling a few nerves. Some will be feeling excitement. The last time you get a chance to potentially go out there and play, you don't know what the future holds. Maybe you're in the dressing room with your teammates for the last time. Relationships have been developed. Their friendships have been made. They will stay with you throughout your career, perhaps. But, it can be pretty emotional. But also sometimes you're also fired up to say, maybe someone else is looking at me. Maybe I'm not staying here. Or maybe I want to be staying here. So all kinds of things that go through your mind in the final game of the season.
Okay, final question, prediction for this one.
BG Tampines to win.
Okay, there you go. There we have it. That was rather emotional, by the way, towards the end. We have this match coming up, 90 minutes of football to separate these two sides in the final weekend of the Singapore Premier League 2024-2025. Don't go anywhere. We'll take a short break, but when we come back, it is kickoff. Stay with us.
Pride at stake at the Jalan Besar Stadium tonight then, as it's the top two in the league that will go head-to-head in their final league game of the season. Tampines just faltered towards the end of the year, but they'll look to finish on a high by beating a Lion City side who look to dust themselves down and get themselves back into winning ways in the league, because they would want to finish on what would be a total of 74 points. Who'll win the bragging rights tonight? As the three meetings this season have finished 1 win each, 1 draw. It's the final match week of this season's Singapore Premier League 2024-25 season, and the kickoff is coming up in a few moments' time. Sashi Kumar joins me in the commentary position. Sashi, is a fair reflection. These two have been the best two sides. Did Tampines disappoint a little bit towards the end, not pushing Lion City Sailors a little bit closer for that title?
Yeah, absolutely, and I think so. And I think that the BG Tampines players and even Gavin Lee would think so as well. You know, I think there were a couple of results. It's in the details, the loss against Hougang, the loss against DPMM, and even the draw with Young Lions. So I think it's those kind of results that really put paid to their hopes in the league. And it's kind of an anti-climax today for the neutrals especially. They were hoping to be this one to be the title decider. Last game, two top sides.
We talked about this, didn't we? It's not going to be that, we know. But there is going to be a lot of pride at stake here, because players, their natural pride kicks in. So the Lion City Sailors, yes, he's going to rotate the team because of the Singapore Cup in midweek. But the BG Tampines players are going to be up for this, aren't they? And that means that we need a reaction, and we will get a reaction from LCS.
Of course, if you are in the BG side, you would want to go out there and win it. It's as simple as that, and they are all professional players. And take nothing away from the LCS players as well. They would want to go out there and win this game as well. So it's going to be interesting. And let's not forget, on Tuesday next week, it's the second leg of the Singapore Cup as well. So it's momentum as well. You want to win this game going into that semi-finals.
Both finely balanced, of course. BG Pathum United and Tampines will go head-to-head on Tuesday. That first leg finished 1-1. That was all the way back on the 19th of April. Seems an absolute eon ago, doesn't it? Whereas, of course, the Lion City Sailors, because of their Asian Champions League campaign, they managed to defeat Brunei DPMM 3-2 just the other night in what was an absolute scintillating game of football. Lots and lots of drama, both on and off the field. Mamitaki will take charge of his 11th league game of the season. Just the 39 yellow cards. He is one of the best referees in Singapore, and possibly, dare I say, one of the best that has ever been produced here from Singapore. I know there'll be a few that may disagree with that, but that's how it is. The VAR is all there and it's all set as well. The red buttons so that they can communicate as well with the officials on site is absolutely pivotal. So the two skippers, Sezwan Buhari and of course Haris Harun, come to the middle. Coin toss has been made. It's just going to be a question of who is going to kick off and who will prevail in this game of pride. So just the two changes from Gavin Lee after a disappointing result last time out against Brunei DPMM. Taufik Supano and Aya Igai come into the starting lineup at the expense of Joel Chu and Glenn Quay. Dylan Fox and Yamashita at the back will be asked to keep the Lion City Sailors strikers quiet tonight, but they'll be looking for Inamoto to bag more than the 6 goals that he scored here, but he does have 19 in total, Sassi, this season.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's the one to watch, especially for the LCS defenders. And we do know that they've got a change back three, the Lion City Sailors, so that's one to watch.
There is the bench. Faris Ramli on the bench as well. Will we see him? That's going to be a big question mark a little bit later on. Gavin Lee, the head coach, also the assistant of the national team, hasn't done too badly, but he will be disappointed that they haven't pushed it a little bit further down the season to test and surprise the Lion City Sailors. Alexander Rankovic then rotates his squad ahead of the second leg of that Singapore Cup tie against Brunei DPMM with 4 changes, as Ramsalar, Alrina, Haikal and Adib are all left out of the first 11. Zafan makes his 9th appearance in goal tonight, and Christopher Van Hoosen and leading goal scorer Leonard T are back in the first 11. Watch out though for 17-year-old Joshua Little, who makes his first full senior start tonight. He's been on overseas attachments in Portugal, but he gets his first start in what has been touted, and he has been touted as definitely one for the future. Not really a gamble from Rankovic, but giving the youngsters the opportunity as well as he has done throughout the season.
Yeah, he did say so, that during the pre-match interviews, that probably nothing to play for, except for go out there and enjoy yourself. And I think Joshua Little should go out there and enjoy himself, and there he is.
Well, some of the players that have been left out are enjoying themselves up here. They're sitting alongside us, just next to us in the commentary position from the Lion City Sailors, and it will be them that get us underway, kicking from right to left, all the way back to Zafan in goal, who puts his foot straight through it. A little flick on and a diving header there from Dylan Fox. Had to be brave, almost like a little stumble it was. Obren Kalic it was that just caught him.
Yeah, just got a little bit late there, and just looking at the formations as we thought as well. Felix playing on the right-hand side as opposed to on the left, so Abdul Razak will play on the left-hand side of the front three for Lion City Sailors.
Again, the methodical work from BG Tampines in the middle of the park, as is the norm, trying to pass it around and work through the lines. Little clumsy challenge there, gives the ball straight back to BG Tampines. Yeah,
Carmona just a little bit overzealous with his challenge. Taken quickly, but here comes the Sailors.
And Kumar just conceding that free kick. Only had the one hand on Nakamura's shirt. Another one that might be a little bit disappointed, Anu Kumar, this season. Only his 7th start of the season today. Has come on 14 different occasions as a substitute, so has played a role, but not as pivotal as maybe he would have liked. There's the big switch. Tafik Soprano on this right-hand side. Igami helps that one on. Everybody hesitating. Igami battling away and fighting, and it's just poked home by Inamoto. We said he needed to add to the 6 goals in the league that he scored for BG Tampines Rovers, and he's done exactly that with just 2 minutes on the clock. What a start, and a dream start that is for BG Tampines Rovers.
Yeah, the Sailors just couldn't clear their lines there. And Haris Harun there, just take a look at Haris Harun here. Not the best of clearance, and even from there, they should have done better. And then just a toe poke by Inamoto. He knows exactly what he was doing there. Into the far post. From that distance, the goalkeeper cannot do anything with it from that close range. Good start for BG Tampines.
Great battling though it was from Igami. That's his 20th of the season, just his 7th though for BG Tampines. Of course, he was at the Young Lions earlier on at the start of the season. They're just checking to see if that was offside, but we could see there from the replay, Sashi, clearly onside.
Yeah, I think when the pass was made was Inamoto in an offside position or coming back from an offside position, so that's what they are checking for.
Well, we've just seen the replay, but it will be dissected by the VAR officials. They are checking, which is why Mohamed Taki isn't starting the game. Oh, and it has been given as offside. Wow, that must have been very, very close, Sashi, because he did look as though he was in an onside position.
Well, that's a let-off for the Sailors, because I don't think they dealt with the ball in the penalty area very well.
Poor defending it was. You were right, there was no question about that. Zulkarnaen as well getting caught out, not dealing with the situation. Both him and Harris just getting caught out. Well, what could have been a perfect start has turned into a little bit of a nightmare then for BG Tampines Rovers. There was literally, what, 100 seconds on the clock?
Yeah.
So it has been a positive start from them. A lot going through Kanori in the middle of the park, and of course Nakamura, who's dropped deep, just pings that one out wide. Held down the line for Igami. And that's going to be the first yellow card as well. No nonsense. That was the professional pride that we were talking about, wasn't it, Sashi? You know, where you don't want to lose no matter what.
Yeah, and I think BG has made a great start to this match, as you would expect in terms of possession, but that was a challenge from behind on Arya Igami, and given the yellow card, Suzliman. It's been a very good start for BG Tampines, and a side that probably plays the best possession football.
Well, as we saw in midweek, that guarantees you nothing. You only have to look at Tottenham Hotspur. Was 17% possession in the second half of that UEFA Cup game. Great ball in! The header's hit the post from Dylan Fox. Flag's gone up again. Well, that is 2 big warnings for this LCS defence. Early doors here.
Well, what a ball that was from Arya Igami. It's almost impossible to defend when the ball comes in like that. And then all he needed was just a slight touch, which Fox did, but he was coming from an offside position.
LCS just need to settle themselves down a little bit here. Slightly flustered as Van Hoosen gets on the ball. Looks forward, nothing on, so elects to try and just keep it. Carmona and Harris getting involved as well. Zulkarnaen helps that one forwards. Here's the debutant, Josh Little. He concedes possession. Ball played forwards, but it's Igami again who helps it down the line, and the run forwards from Kanori looking to cause problems. Dylan Fox steps in, and Nakamura just slows things down, and Yamashita does likewise. All the way back now to the skipper, Shazwan Buhari. Man City Sailors trying to hold that high line just on the edge of the centre circle. Haris Hanan barking out his instructions to his midfielders and strikers to push on.
Yeah, and interesting to see Zlatkovic just getting into his central position from left back, providing that added support in the middle of midfield.
Given away cheaply though, Hafiz Noor helps it on. Little plays it wide. They do have options. It's a lovely little reverse pass. Little's in behind here. Little with a strike. Good save. Van Hoosen off the line. What a chance that is for Lion City Sailors. And it's the youngster, 17-year-old Joshua Little, that caused all the problems. Van Hoosen did everything right, but somehow the ball just didn't cross the line.
Well, the first attack for the Sailors in this game, and it almost ended up into the back of the net. This was beautiful play, and then I think it's a double save, but take a look at it. Did it cross the line?
Oh, they're going to be looking at that.
Yeah, I'm sure, because that was, the first one was a good save. He had to go down low, and then from here, it did look like it went over the line. This will be checked, I'm sure.
So we've had 2 goal VAR incidents inside the opening 8 minutes. That did look very, very close.
Well, it's not apparently check completed.
Ball to the far post, and that's he trying to get on the end of it. Dylan Fox flicks it away. That was close, wasn't it, Sashi?
Yeah, and that was a great double save from the skipper, Shazwan Buhari, especially the second one, because he was scrambling across. This was the first save from Joshua Little, and then Van Huysen does...
It's the angle, we can't tell from this angle.
But he does everything right, Van Huysen. Keep it low, try to control it, and Shazwan did all he could there. Great save.
Hafiz Noor to deliver. 5 blue shirts to aim for, he's gone deep, but again, comfortable catch in the end for Shazwan Buhari.
Well, it's a great start to the game.
Well, any of those naysayers, and I think we can include Mr. Rankovic in that, where he said there's nothing to play for. There's always something to play for, and that pride in players' chests when you walk out onto the pitch is definitely a big one. Taufik looking to get in behind. Done well to get the ball here, and has flicked it to the far post. A little bit too far for Enomoto.
Good battle down this side, Van Huysen and Taufik Suparno. And he just couldn't wrap his foot around the ball. Just hit this outside of his boot there, and ball went out of play.
Oh, I'm exhausted already, Sashi. It's just, it was almost 10 minutes into the game, and it's absolutely flown by. That's the tempo of this match. Way forwards, all coming in, looking for the runner, Lennart T, but Dylan Fox, accustomed defender that he is, just coolly defended that one. Come on out to Van Hoosen, who delivers early. Yamashita didn't get it right at the first asking, but did it the second. Harry's mopping things up again at the back for LCS. Hafiz Noor just flicks that one forward, just a little bit too heavy. That'll just take the sting out of the game slightly for BG Tampines Rovers, who get on with things quickly. Nakamura with a big 60-yard diagonal pass. Enomoto helps it on, but the run of Igami was out to in. He's never going to get there. Good defending in the end.
Well, firstly, it was a good ball from Nakamura, and that first touch from Enomoto was superb. And then you got to admire the run by Hafiz Noor, tracking his runner all the way, which was Igami. Igami had to foul him.
LCS, after that early scare, settling themselves down. Just see Lenazzi there just asking Carmona just to slow it down slightly. Hadn't made that run, which is why they conceded possession and turned it straight back over to BG Tampines. All over the top, Van Hoosen looks as though he's got the Yamamoto, does well, keeps it in play. Taufik Soprano couldn't keep his feet there though. Long range shot, comfortable and easy in the end for Zafan. Again, almost shooting themselves in the foot.
Well, that was a terrible ball out from Zafan, and you know he's been one of the players who's come in and he needs to put up a good performance, because in that game, that first leg against DPMM, it was his mistake that led to the goal. And he needs to do much better, Zafan. Well, I don't exactly know whether that was a shot or a pass for Abdul Razak. It did look like it was a pass, but it was way too long.
But you can see BG Tampines, of course, wanting to get on with things a lot quicker. Here it is again. So sloppy. Got away with that. Very much so. Slakovic, him and Dylan Fox just seem to be rotating in that sort of left-hand side of defence position. Centre-back as well as the left full-back area. There's a sloppy pass as well from Shah.
Yeah, you're right, Paul. I think in possession, Zlatkovic always comes into the middle, and then they go to a back three. It's always, yeah,
an inverted fullback,
yeah,
isn't it? They come and play inside a little bit more. Seen that numerous times with numerous clubs over the past couple of seasons. Not so much here in Singapore, but it does happen a lot in Europe. Out of the 140 games that we've played, Sashi, so far this season, we're averaging 4.26 goals a game. Quite an open season. Here's the offside goal again. Is he just strayed there? Oh, I tell you, Hafiz Noor is a very lucky boy there. A very lucky boy. Here comes Nakamura. Just keeps it simple. Helped on from Shah. Bigami. Kanori with a little flick on. And again, blocked down, and it's only gone as far as Taufik. Has the overlap and the support of Amaral. Goes himself. Whistle's gone though. Offside.
Yeah, I think it was Taufik Soprano, but again, great play from BG Tampines. Their passes, their combination play in the middle, superb. Arya Igami, Konori, Inamoto in there as well.
Hafiz Noor. Alic wins the throw. Another one, Sassi, just the 9th start, so he's only getting his 10th start of the season so far this season. Did we expect a little bit more from the 21-year-old?
Yeah, I think he started the season in a couple of games there, and didn't really impress. And they out wide as well on the left-hand side. So it's a big game as well. And I spoke about this as well just now with Zafan in there. Abdul Razak needs a big game. And we talk about the huge game on Tuesday, the second leg of the semi-final. They all want to play.
Well, there are players playing for contracts as well. Some of the Lion City players will be fringe players, and if they don't do it and they're not doing well enough, then they will be dropped and they'll be looking for clubs next season. So they have to perform here to show the other clubs in the league, hey, I am available if I'm not wanting to be kept by LCS or BG Tampines Rovers for that matter.
Yeah, of course. You know, I think they're always in the shopping window, the players, and it doesn't matter whether it's a one-off game. They just need to go out there and put up a performance.
Here's Kanori again. 17 goals so far for him this season. He is officially the leading goal scorer for BG Tampines Rovers. Even though Enomoto has 20 to his name, only 7 of those have been for the Stags. Here's Dylan Fox.
Yeah, I just saw Taufik Suparno making a very nice run in there, and Shah Shahiran didn't play him on.
Flag stayed down, Enomoto's in behind. That's a close call. Play on, said the referee. Kanori just missed it. Flag has now gone up for offside. It did look offside, if we're being honest, Hass.
Yeah, from open play there, from real time, I mean, you could tell that he was in an offside position. But, you know, the only problem that I have with this rule, it's the late flag, is, you know, as it goes on, this is so clear. You know, just give it, because as it goes on, players can get injured. And you just take a look at this, the pass that goes in, you know, anything can happen. Zafan can come in and make a challenge on the striker. And
well, we saw that last week, didn't we, with a Notts Forest player having to be put into an induced coma.
Exactly.
Obviously had a ruptured stomach or spleen or something like that, and had to have surgery on it. And the referee could have made that decision. The officials could have made that decision. I think that may have a bit of a bearing and an effect on what happens next year.
Yeah.
They are trying to give the advantage to the attacking teams, but when something is so clear and obvious,
yeah, just give it. You know?
I think players, fans, everybody else, that's what they want. There's a ball tucked into the channel. Enomoto making the run. Harris showing all his experience there, just dealing with that situation, flicking it to safety.
Yeah, I think it's the high line that the Sailors are playing. They got to be careful, because Enomoto will run all day. Taufik Suparno will do that as well, and as with Arya Igami. So they've got to be really careful.
Alice, it's nearly 20 years ago that he made his national team debut against North Korea. 19 years it will be in June. Did you know that, Sashi?
Yeah, I know it was a long time ago.
There used to be a time where you would tell me that you weren't born then, but there's Latkovic. He's just taking his time, as is Dylan Fox. And that high line from LCS, just trying to minimise the space of the lines that Tampines can play through. Latkovic looks for that little give and go. As it is, they try and go a different way. Yamashita. Enomoto and Kanori looking to make darting runs in behind there. Dylan Fox wanting someone to make a run. In the end, it's Taufik that makes the run and Van Hoosen that clears up the mess. Kanori also with a little bit of a messy challenge as well.
Yeah, just a little shrug on Zul there. Just goes down. Will take the free kick himself. The challenge from, or the clearance from Van Hoosen. There you go. It's clear as well, and Taki in the right place.
Dispossessed again there, Zorkanian. Just forcing the Lion City Sailors back a little bit. Here's Van Hoosen. He was the man whose shot was cleared off the line, and officially, Sashi, it wasn't clear and obvious for VAR to award that as a goal.
Yeah, and so that will go down as a brilliant save by Shazwan Buhari on the line, scrambling across.
It'll be interesting to see how LCS do approach next season as well. Really will be, particularly after that amazing cup run in the Champions League. Dispossessed here though, and now they've got their backs to the wall. Igami skips past two. Enomoto drops the shoulder, tries to cut back inside, runs into traffic. Nakamura. Sharp. Good defending there from Lion City Sailors. Everybody closing down and just closing ranks. That's a good press, that was, from Lion City, forcing Tampines to go all the way back to Shazwan. Oof, that was the risky ball, but Nakamura very comfortable. Do you remember a certain coach called Barman Furutan who used to tell us to play this way, Sashi?
Yeah, very much so. And that was so risky there, that ball that was played in, but they were so confident of what they're doing.
20 years ahead of his time, would you say?
Yeah, I
He
think
was,
so.
wasn't he?
Yeah, I think so. And
everybody's playing it now.
that was called the sweep, a goalkeeper sweeper system.
Sweeper keeper.
Yeah.
Izlakovic. He's got 7 goals so far this season, so it tells you how much he likes to get involved in the action and push forwards. Sharp. Not enough movements ahead of him, which is why, again, that press from LCS has looked very good. A little bit of time and space now. Izlakovic keeps it simple. Higami. Checked back inside once more and finds Nakamura, who clips it into Enomoto. Enomoto, lovely touch. Enomoto! Good save. Zafan down quickly to his left-hand side, and that's a big left hand from the keeper with a vital save.
Well, that time was timed to perfection. Timing was right. Good first touch, probably just put it away from himself, but I think Carmona was in that position where, you know, the touch has got to go there, but oh, that's a great save from Zafan. Down low on his left, had to make the save.
For the corner then, taken short, Nakamura.
Shaw wasn't aware about Joshua Little there just behind him. Got away with it.
Yamashita. That's roughly 50-50 in terms of possession.
Yeah, it's really good to see the difference in the styles. It's so clear to see. The one with all the possession, all the movement, and the champions, they're sitting back, they're just holding on, pressing when they need to, dropping off when they need to, not really bothered about the possession, trying to go for the counter in transition.
Yeah, that's borne out by the stats. Dangerous attacks where Tampines Rovers have had twice as many, 20 as opposed to 10, which is getting into the final third and getting towards the box entries. That tells you all you need to know, who's on that front foot and who's trying to take the game and who's soaking up all the pressure. Is Amral Adley. He slows it down, gives it back to Nakamura. A little flick over the top. Van Hoosen loses out. Taufik got in behind, but quickly off his line was Zafan. And he launches one quickly, looking for Leonard T. Dylan Fox, though, comfortable and easy for him. Joshua Little there. I think you could say a little bit overzealous in the challenge on his debut.
Yeah, it's good to see the 17-year-old. There you go. He just, I think he just misjudged the ball as well, and then
he's just smashed
into Shashiran.
Don't mind that from a youngster.
Yeah.
You've got to be big and strong and powerful, and just got to let people know they're in a game. Again, look how little space there is to work for Tampines there, as Leonard T now, after LCS win the ball back, look to come forwards again. Dalic plays it wide, Hafiz Noor. The angle was against him. Dylan Fox did really well there to shut down that door and force Hafiz Noor to drill it into the side netting.
Well, that was what I was talking about, the difference in styles, and they do win the ball in those areas. T does well to just hold up play, and then the message for Hafiz Noor and the wingers is go at 100%, and that's what he did. He just went. And the cross just couldn't wrap his foot around the ball there on that right-hand side.
Easy for Yamashita. Taufik. Again, Sassi, you've got to say, LCS have got this press and they've got this condensation of the game, keeping it compact. Very, very good.
Yeah, you're right, you know, and they're not doing it just as a one-off. They've been doing this in training sessions, and you can see it, you know, you can see they're well drilled. And then now they can't press, and they just get behind the ball. But here comes
it's a
danger.
lovely reverse pass. It's a beautiful ball played through. A little nudge in the back there from Igami. That was a clever, clever little pass. Trying to put the 21-year-old in behind.
Yeah, and that was what the BG Tampines was doing there. Oh yeah, that's definitely a trip by Igami. There you go, just stepped into the line of Zulkarnain Suzliman. Just BG there for once doing what sailors would do, or trying to do in transition, trying to go as quickly as possible. Nearly got caught there, the sailors.
Dylan Fox slowing it down, and Zlatkovic getting involved as well. Nice ball played in, and again, Enomoto always willing to run those channels. Brilliant ball! Oh, miss of the season. Coming in at the far post, unmarked. Somehow he hasn't managed to make the right connection, Igami. But what a brilliant ball from Enomoto across the face of goal.
Well, that move was all about this ball. Look at this ball, it's right. Oh. Well, you may be right there. We've seen a couple of bad misses this season, and that's one of it. That was an absolutely brilliant ball from Enomoto, right onto the path of Arya Igami, and he should score from there.
Wow, another opportunity and another chance. Zanakumar rolling it all the way back to the keeper, Zafan. Kalamona flips it up the line, and then I'd say lovely little cushion ball into the path of Abdul Razak, who's been very, very quiet in this opening half hour so far.
Yeah, the touch wasn't the best from Abdul Razak. Just gave the ball way to Dylan Fox, who swept up, and here comes BG Tampines on the left-hand side now.
Kanori, time and space to turn. Taufik tries to pull it back across, and again it's the youngster Josh Little who just hooks it away.
A good hold-up play from Kielich. I think got lucky there, Hafiz Noor. Instead of playing it out, he just went into danger. There you go. Arya Igami not happy.
Time and space again for Van Hoosen. Bit of time and space now for Kamona. Alice Harun gets involved as well. back to Zarfan. Looking out in the far distance, Sashi, and it's not looking too good over there, but fortunately that's away from where we are here at the Jalan Besar Stadium.
I'm praying that is away.
Yes, we are. Kanori, lovely little ball down the line for Taufik. Taufik, a great ball again in behind the defenders. Well, you have to say, he has looked lively, Taufik Supano.
Yeah, he's another player who's been pretty unlucky this season. You know, I think injuries as well, but hasn't really got into the starting lineup this time around. Just slightly, and he knew that you could see his reaction there as well. As soon as he played the ball, the idea was a good one. Just couldn't put it close to Igami or Inamoto.
Kane knows Sashi, isn't it? It's just his third start of the season in the league, and that's disappointing for him. Has had 36 appearances across the whole season in all cup competitions as well, with a return of 6 goals. But looking hungry here tonight. Harris trying to fire that one in to Vlacic. As it is, it's broken again for BG Tampines Rovers. Taufik tries to tuck it in the channel. Kanori, well, he's literally covered every blade of grass in this first half hour already, because he's made another run in behind the defenders to try and cause problems, but it was just cut out. And now LCS can look to break forwards again. Anakuma. Razic having to drop very, very deep and go centrally to try and get on the ball here. Zulkanian, Hafiz Noor trying to feed it into Obrin Vlacic. Of 2 for BG Tampines as it stands at the moment. They have had the better opportunities, but it's not to say that something can't happen here. Vlacic out wide, Hafiz Noor. Lovely skill from Hafiz Noor. Vlacic again trying to pull that one back and just hacked away to safety. Anywhere will do. Sharian there just clearing his lines.
Yeah, good spell of possession here by the Sailors. Looking very lively. Clearly shown that right-hand side.
Van Huizen right-footed into the box this time. Yamashita with the header away, and Harris never looks phased when he's on the ball, does he? Yeah. Harris Harun.
Yes, using his experience as well. Very cool on the ball.
Oh, there's a little bit of a sloppy touch from Little. A real chance here to make it 1-0. Blazed over the top. Igami again. That's the second opportunity he's had, and he'll never get a clearer opportunity in this game than that to give BG Tampines the lead. What a chance that was.
Yeah, Joshua Little got a little bit casual there, and Arya Igami, having done the difficult part, he just got under the ball. That's not good enough, Arya Igami. He does well to win it, and then had so much time, and that's not good.
Wow. That's 2 big, and I mean 2 big misses, Sashi.
And probably that's the story of the season for BG Tampines. You know, we spoke about the draws that they had. The Young Lions was one, I think, against Jalan as well, early on in the season. Those are the details.
There's Josh Little at the other end trying to make amends, and this time it's Shazwan Bahari down to his right-hand side.
Well, 2 sides of Little. The first one not so good, the second one much, much better.
Well, he nearly went from little to large there, didn't he? Because the mistake made him little, but he nearly came up big and came up trumps there at the other end. I like that, though, a young 17-year-old. They could go into a shell there, Sashi, but he's driven forwards there and almost scored a goal.
Yeah, and he's there for a reason, because he's shown it time and time again in training sessions or even in the under-21 matches. So they just want to see him out there in a bigger situation, a better competition. He's, in terms of confidence, it's there. In terms of ability, it's there.
Here he is again, getting on the ball.
Going back to what I was saying, you know, I think the difference in these two sides, yeah, we talk about difference in styles, but I think they've been more efficient.
Van Hoosen steps inside. Van Hoosen! Just why the game now really starting to open up as we're getting towards half-time. Good opportunity from the left wing-back there. Attacked the box, dropped the shoulder, but just couldn't find it in the back of the net.
Oh, that was a beautiful ball that was slipped in there for Van Hoosen. The defenders went to sleep. Amirul Adli there, and Van Hoosen, you can tell what he was trying to do, going for the far post curler. Close.
I'm going to ask you this one, Sashi. We spoke earlier about Tampines pushing the Lion City Sailors all the way. I'm going to say a name, Boris Kopitovic. If he'd have been here, do you think they may have pushed them a little bit further? Because, of course, he'd scored 16 goals so far this season for them. That was when the January window came, and, of course, he signed for Bali.
Very good point. You know, and again, take nothing away from Inamoto and Konori, because Inamoto had to come in to replace him. But if he had stayed on, you never know, because, you know, the number of goals he scored. It's really a good question there. And
Thank you.
Yeah, and I spoke about the draws. He could have been the difference,
yeah,
you know, in that sense. And the losses, you know, when they came back against DPMM and Hougang, simply not good enough. And that's the difference, as I was saying. Sailors, they've been more efficient in that way.
Yeah. 93 goals in 107 appearances. Tells you a lot, doesn't it? Ball tucked in the channel. Abdul Razak making that run. Van Hoosen getting there to support slowly and trying to get involved. A little nudge in the back, though. He's luckily got away with that, Amrul Adli.
Yeah, a little bit too strong, but he does enough there.
It was just the two arms, that's why, Sashi. Just a little nudge
Just the two.
of Abdul Razak. Inamoto looking for that foul, not given. Play on, said the referee. Carmona drives that one forwards. Yamashita just scoops it up in the air. That couldn't get on the end of that. And again, Yamashita almost finds us up in the commentary position there, Sashi.
Yeah, and sometimes you need to do that as a defender. Don't want to be taking chances at the back. And
he's putting his arm up, apologising. I'm telling you, do not apologise for that, son. There's nothing wrong with that occasionally.
yeah, as a centre back, why not?
Well, sometimes needs must, and sometimes you just have to do that and deal with the situation. Van Hoosen will look to throw this one in. Where are the runners? That was the man that's made the run, but the ball turned over in favour of BG Tampines. A little bit of battling going on there in the corner. Kanori with the layoff and Nakamura with the finesse. Igami has Inamoto wide, who bent his run to stay on side. And there are yellow shirts getting forwards now. Inamoto, lovely ball switched over. Zlatkovic in an advanced position, fluffs these lines. That was a golden opportunity and a good chance there to put a decent ball into the box. A nice move from BG Tampines Rovers, but to no avail.
Yeah, not for the first time. Kevin Lee just turns away in disgust on the bench there. This was a good ball from Inamoto. Good first touch from Zlatkovic. And oh, should have been better. You look at Inamoto down this side. Absolutely annoyed with that ball from
Ramona. A little bit sloppy the ball there into Abdul Razak, who couldn't get it under control.
Yeah, he didn't like the ball. Abdul Razak, he had to stretch for it. The ball goes out of play.
Ladley just playing Besar. Yamashita. Dylan Fox. Tampines just moving the ball around comfortably.
Besar has just flown by.
Sashi, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
And I think it all started as early as the second minute when Enomoto put the ball in the back of the net. Getting the shape of Lion City Sailors. You can see there on your screen how compact it is. Only what, 10-15 meters between the lines, and it's very, very difficult to try and play between them. It's where PG Tampines and Gavin Lee has to come up with a plan at half-time of how to break down that block that the Lion City Sailors have put up in front of them, Sashi.
Yeah, but to be fair to PG Tampines, they've done well. You know, obviously you're not going to create 10 or 15 chances against this side, but they have created chances, but the problem is they haven't taken them, and that's the problem, isn't it? You know, you do get the chance. You're talking about real good chances to score. You're not talking about half chances here. So they've done well in that sense.
You're talking about Igami.
No names.
No. Well, you've got to name him, Sashi, because we've already called him. He's missed two blinders where he should really have given PG Tampines, don't mind a 1-0 lead, but possibly a 2-0 lead as well. Total shot count now is 7-4, but of the 4 shots that LCS have had, 3 have hit the target, so that's just telling you that they've been a little bit more clinical with their striking towards goal. It's only 3 on target from PG Tampines. Lovely ball over the top, Leonard T, the flag stayed down, little scoop in loop, what a save. Sazwan Buhari, that full stretch, flipped that one away. Danger not clear yet though. Van Hoezon, the flag's finally gone up.
Well, it did look like he was in an offside position, and he's not complaining either. But having said that, the way he took it down and the idea was absolutely brilliant. And what was absolutely brilliant, again from there you can't really tell. Probably his left foot was off there, but the way he took it, but tell you what, that was a great save.
I think you can tell with the time between the actual efforts and when the free kick was given or that ball played through. VAR officials were already looking at that and checking. With 2 minutes added on at the end of this first 45. Currently asking for his players to try and release the ball just a little bit earlier. More players to show for the ball as well, and we talked about that, the lack of movement up front, which is what's costing them. That's a little bit too heavy from Abdul Razak, who, let's be honest, just struggled to get into the game today, Sashi.
Yeah, I think so. And Josh Little there, who made that run, very good run from midfield into the space on the left-hand side. And to be fair, he won the ball first to get this move going. Josh Little, Abdul Razak, just as you said, hasn't really had a good first half.
One good thing about that is there's always 45 minutes to rectify it, as long as you're given the opportunity to do so. Dylan Fox and Nakamura linking up together. Lankovic playing, as we mentioned, that inverted fullback, just tucking on the inside and an extra body in the middle of the park. Here's Taufik Sapano. Lankovic again. Fired out wide to Nakamura. Will he deliver? Little cheeky ball round the corner with Kanori swinging a leg at it. difficult technique that with the ball that's played in. It's a straight ball, straight run, trying to get the angle to hook it past Zarfan in goal.
What an intelligent ball this is. Look at this, giving everyone the eyes and then just slips the ball in for Konori. You're right, it's a difficult one as it's coming across you like that to take it with the right foot. But still, again, that is a half chance.
A very, very intriguing game of football. Another little silly free kick given away, taken quickly. Flag stayed down, but I'm sure they'll be looking for that in the VAR office. Konori has the ball, checks back inside, delivers. Van Hoosen with a header away. Finally, the whistle goes for offside. We saw that from here, Sashi.
Yeah, absolutely, and that probably is the last chance. Yes, it is.
Well, that's the first half that gets wrapped up where BG Tampines Rovers have had the better goal-scoring opportunities. Enomoto had the ball in the back of the net, but VAR ruled it out before Van Hoosen had one cleared off the line spectacularly by Shazwan Buhari. VAR also had a big look at that one as well. Very little to choose between these two at the top of the table. Very little to choose between these two at the Jalan Besar Stadium. At half-time here, it's BG Tampines Rovers 0, Lion City Sailors 0.
Yes, it is the final weekend of the Singapore Premier League season, and we are live here at the Jalan Besar Stadium, one of two matches being played tonight And as you have just seen that score, it is 0-0 at the Jalan Besar Stadium between BG Tampines Rovers and the champions, the Lion City Sailors. But I gotta say, how Tampines Rovers are not on the scoreboard yet is beyond me.
Incredible. I mean, so many chances in that match, and BG Tampines, it should be done and dusted by halftime. I think with the opportunities as they've had, it's not even a case of half chances. Those are really high quality opportunities that they've created. So a little bit of frustration from their perspective, but they're in control of this fixture. Just need that finishing touch to really, you know, make the most of the control that they've had in this game.
Well, if you haven't seen what Roshan is talking about, we will be showing it to you now in the first half highlights. Let's take a look. They actually did have the ball in the back of the net in the second minute. Inamoto thinking that he had scored. In fact, we all thought he had scored.
Yeah.
But the referee decided otherwise.
Very close call, this. Really, really close. And it all starts because BG Tampines, you know, they keep up the pressure here. Haris Harun with that first clearance wasn't good enough, and you can see from the angle of this replay that when it comes into Inamoto, he just strays offside there. Yeah. So it is a good decision in the end. This one was incredible, by the way. It was almost a little bit magical in a sense.
I tell you, it's like a trick shot to me. I cannot see how the goalkeeper has saved this.
Yeah, there was a bit of mystery behind this because we're trying to figure out which part of the goalkeeper does it hit to stay out. I mean, have a look at this one. I think it comes off. That's a great save in the first place. I think it comes off his backside.
It looks like it goes through. Yeah, it does. Well, it obviously does hit some part of his body. I'm just, like you said, we're not quite sure which part of the body it was.
Might have come off the back of his leg, perhaps, on that angle. Well, but whatever it was from the goalkeeper, that's been kept out pretty brilliantly by Shazwan.
Yeah, well, the goalkeeper on the other side, Zarfan, a very sloppy pass there. But I think it was Shashahiran, is that right? I'm not sure if it's him who takes the shot.
No, it's Arya Igami with the effort here.
Oh, it's Arya, is it?
Yeah, straight down the middle. The goalkeeper, Zarfan, will be really pleased with that because that was not the best from him.
18th minute, this is a lovely ball played in, but just misses. Once again, another chance for Tampines, which they did not take.
Yeah, another one for them. I think the flag went up for offside. Quite clearly, Inamoto's in an offside position here. Can't bend this run. It's a very good defensive line being kept by the Lion City Sailors. Nice discipline there, stepping up very well, and it wouldn't have counted anyway. But again, it's BG Tampines with all the chances, with all the control, and with the opportunities. This is a great save from Zarfan. Gets down quickly to that strong left arm and pushes it wide away from goal, and then he gets help from his defenders. But it's just too easy for BG Tampines to have players running in behind and for them to be found. Again, here, have a look at this one. Inamoto out into the channel, puts a lovely ball in, and Igami, I'm not quite sure how he's missed that. But you could probably say that about his performance in that first half because he's had two great chances, and both of them I thought should have been put away. This one, maybe it comes to him a little bit too quickly. I'm trying to be kind, trying to find a way out for him. Maybe it bounces up and skips up off the turf before it hits him, and then that's why it goes over. But
no,
I don't know how
I don't know either.
to explain this as well, to be honest. I mean, he's got so much time, and maybe he's overthinking it. But he should have put that away. He should have had 2 goals already, and perhaps even a hat-trick.
How much does this put a dent in your confidence as a player?
It certainly does, and you know, it will shake him a little bit because he knows he should have scored, and he'll be frustrated that he hasn't. You know, here Christopher Van Housen with the opportunity going just wide there, and he's had a couple of chances as well, but it's mainly been about BG Tampines. Yes, not too much of a difference in terms of possession, in terms of the attempts, but again, if you look deeper into the attempts, instead of just 5 and 6, if you actually look at the quality of the opportunities, BG Tampines have had much better of them, and only 2 on target, which is something they'll be frustrated by, and only 2 on target because we've seen Arigami blaze 2 great chances over.
Well, LCS will be the happier of the 2 teams here. I mean, what will they do differently coming out in the second half?
I don't think they'll do too much. I don't think there's an opportunity for them to do too much because there is a difference in quality out on the pitch. So yeah, they can look to try and make a few changes, but defensively at times the organization perhaps will need to be a little bit better, especially in identifying those runs in behind that back line and putting some pressure on the passes that are being played in behind that defense.
All right, it is goalless at the Jalan Besar Stadium for the moment, but we do have a couple of goals out at our Tampines hub. Don't forget, it's Hougang United up against Brunei DPMM, and it was Hougang who were first on the scoreboard very early on in this one, in the second minute. And what about that from Shoda Yokoyama?
Yeah, that's beautiful. Lovely play from Hougang, and Shoda Yokoyama with the finish there is it's lovely. Such a great angle, opens up the body, puts it into that far post. And then Ikoniaks with the effort here. He's been in a great run of form.
Hasn't he? I think this is his 13th goal of the season.
Yeah, I mean, he's been incredible, Ikoniaks. The contribution that he's made for Brunei DPMM. Bit of a slow start, but, you know, he's been finding the back of the net on a regular basis now for them.
So looking at the table, if Brunei DPMM win this game, they could leapfrog Albirex Niigata.
Yeah.
Is that how it works? I mean, that's the importance of this match for Brunei DPMM.
That is why it's important for DPMM, but also to maintain momentum. They've got a semi-final against the Land City Sailors coming up in the Singapore Cup. So, yeah, I think it's important for them. They'll be leaving the league and they'll want to try and finish as high up as they possibly can, which will be 5th. So that's the motivation for them there. All
right, so 1-1 over at our Tampines hub between Hougang and Brunei DPMM. And our match that we are featuring here at the Jalan Besar Stadium, goalless for the moment. But we can smell a few goals coming up in the second half, I reckon. Don't go away. We'll be back with the second 45 in just a couple of minutes. Stay tuned.
Match week 36 certainly hasn't disappointed, particularly this game, which sees the top two locking horns as BG Tampines Rovers take on the Land City Sailors. It may be 0-0, but we've had controversy, we've had goal line clearances, we've had disallowed goals. The only thing we're missing is a goal, but who will be missing in the second half is Taufik Supano, because he is going to be substituted and Glenn Quay is coming into the action. Lion City Sailors not making any changes. They've been happy to just keep the game really condensed and really have pressed exceptionally well in that first 45 minutes. But BG Tampines Rovers are the ones that need to come out this second half and try and make something happen. Had that goal disallowed after just 2 minutes. Enomoto adjudged to have been in an offside position, and there you can see at the bottom of your screen that substitution. Glenn Quay coming in for Taufik Supano. Sashi Kumar joins me here in the commentary position. Sashi, a little bit surprising that Glenn Quay has been pushed straight on and Taufik taken off.
Surprised and a little bit unlucky for Taufik Supano, I feel. You know, I think he's done well in terms of what he's supposed to do in that position. You know, he's very lively, been very lively. He's been a good battle down this side with Van Huysen. So, you know, I think he's been a little bit unlucky. But Glenn Quay, obviously, he's a left-sided player or left-footer playing in that right side. You know what he can do. He can score goals as well. He's been very good for them this season in a more advanced position. And let's see what he can do.
Very interesting one. Him coming back in. He was left out of the starting lineup today. Glenn Quay, which will have disappointed him to an extent. He'll have fancied his chances. He started 26 games before going into today's round of matches. He's only missed the one game all season. When you turn around and look at it like that, 7 goals as well, which helps. We're underway, and straight away Tampines fire one in, and Harris Harun has to block that one clear.
Yeah, he has to clear and be very focused very early on in the second half.
Slakovic getting on the ball as well. As we heard, it's 1-1 in the other game, Hougang versus Brunei DPMM. So a lot to play for there, particularly league standings as well. Lovely ball played and floated over the top. Here's Glenn Quay's first action of this second half. Little back heel, Kanori drills it into the box, and that long leg of Sergio Carmonac goes out to block it for another corner. It's going to be Tampines Rovers applying a little bit more pressure with their 9th corner.
Yeah, nicely worked again. Great start for BG Tampines, as they did in that first half. And Sia Konori, intelligent ball, played it low, looking for Arya Igami again.
Corner whipped in. It's not a bad ball either. It's just flicked on. Glenn Quay it was who got his head on it. Kanori fires this one back into the box. Headed away though. Little handball from Josh Little, who just jumped that fraction early. Taken quickly. Kanori will look to deliver another one. Dylan Fox has stayed forwards. Shah Shadan on the ball. And going all the way back. Trying to slow things down. Nakamura. Just flicks it out wide. Igami. A bit of time and space to work on this left-hand side. Went the closest in the opening half for Tampines. Does well, but that's good defending. Hafi Snor with a sliding challenge. Concedes the second corner of this second half for BG Tampines Rovers, but good defending.
Yeah, you spoke about the battle on that side. How about this too? It's been very, very good indeed, and Hafi Snor gets one over Arya Igami this time.
Corner fired in, it's deeper this time. Dylan Fox with a header. Comfortably into the hands though of Zafan in goal. Just slightly under the ball there, Dylan Fox. Couldn't get enough power onto it. Do you think LCS will change anything, Sashi?
Well,
the approach this second half?
I don't think so. You know, I don't think they have changed very much in terms of how they play. They always play with the 3, with the wing backs, so to speak. And to be fair, this 11 out there today probably won't start on Tuesday. So they want to have all these players just have a good run out. Again, I'm assuming.
Nakamura, clever little dink over the top. Just a little bit too heavy though. Kanori yet again making those dangerous runs in beyond the striker. Just asking questions more than anything, Sashi. Good feet from Hafiz Noor, just holding on to the ball. No foul, but throw goes in favour of BG Tampines.
Oh, that's good pressing there by Arya Igami.
Begs the question, doesn't it, Sashi? Why hasn't he started more games? It's only his second start of the season. Shah with a long throw. Just flicked on easily in the end from Zlatkovic into the hands of Zafan. Ball out quickly. Van Hoosen has a lot of space to run into. Here's Harris. And just slowing the tempo down. Dylan Fox comfortably and easily across, just clearing his lines. 5 minutes again, racing past him this second 45. Easily picked off, very easily picked off by Sultanian. Bit of time and space now. Abdul Razak just went a fraction early. Offside given. You can see in the background there the subs for LCS warming up. As you mentioned, you may get the odd one or two. You probably look at this team, Sashi, the ones that may start in the semi-final for LCS, possibly Carmona, Lenarti, Harris, only a couple, as they've got to defend here. Nice little block away. Nakamura picking up that loose ball though. You are right, there's going to be wholesale changes. We know because the team sitting next to us up here in the commentary position. Little reverse ball there, and no look pass from Nakamura trying to pick out Kanori, who'd made another intelligent run in behind the defence.
Yeah, you're right. Players like Datkovic, Costa, Pires, Ramsala sitting just beside us, having a break today.
I saw you having a little chat with a couple of them at half-time. Did you get any insights into what's going to happen?
Yeah, I'm sure they wouldn't want to reveal anything. Anyway.
Kanori plays it out wide. Glenn Quay gets to the byline. Good defending. Goal kick given though. Last touch adjudged to have come off Glenn Quay.
Yeah, it's Glenn against a couple of players, Carmona and Van Huysen. Does well there, Carmona on the stretch. It started especially, or exactly like the first half. BG Tampines with all the possession.
Could be a chance here though. Shah, no look pass, and that was sloppy. Very, very sloppy.
Yeah, just trying to be a little bit too smart, but what a ball that was from Van Huysen.
Hafiz Noor. Did he go for goal there, or was that a pass?
I think he was going for Leonard T. He overplayed that, overcooked it, but yeah, passage of play where things got a little bit sloppy from both sides. There you go. What's a really bad one there from Hafiz Noor, but just before that as well, Shah Shahiran tried to be a little bit too smart there with a no-look pass.
You talk about Glenn Quay. He has featured in 42 of the games that BG Tampines Rovers have played so far this season. This will be game number 43, and it's the same as Kyogo Nakamura and also Seiya Kanori. So that's including the cup games and everything as well. So, you know, he has been a mainstay. So it was slight eyebrows raised when he was left out of the starting lineup today, but coming on means that he keeps going with that number. is Zlatkovic. Nice ball played in behind Kanori, again making that dynamic run in there, but good defending. This time, Zulkarnaen comes a long way across to deal with that situation, but concedes the corner.
Yeah, the ball was slightly overplayed again by Zlatkovic, but good pace showed by Zulkarnaen. Coming back from a very bad injury. Looks like he's back to his best. He's got that pace as well.
So LCS getting ready to make a change as well in a minute as the corner's taken short. Nakamura just keeps it moving sharp. Has a lot of time and space. Just clips onto the far post. Zlatkovic with time and space tees up Kanori. Big block and just stabbed away in the end from Klacic. And the flag goes up for offside anyway.
Yeah, that was a good ball in by Shah, but obviously offside given. So clear. Zlatkovic.
Yeah, Haikal is going to come on. Was left out of the starting lineup today. Oberon Glalic will be the man that goes off. So it's a 12th substitute appearance this season for Haikal. Just a solitary goal to his name. Well read and anticipated from Zlatkovic. Nakamura just turns it into the corner. Inamoto ever willing to run into those channels. I suppose you can do that when you've got Kanori making those runs going central as well. Zlatkovic. And in the end again, the shape of this LCS side force BG Tampines Rovers all the way back. It's again a very good press and good to condense the field of play like they have. Late challenge, Little went in late on Zlatkovic, play allowed to continue. Here's Igami, skips past two. Igami tried to find Inamoto in the end, and Husen had to stick a big toe there and concedes a corner.
Yeah, Nakamura just turned his head and just trying to ask Igami who was that ball for, because it was a very good ball that was slipped in. It probably was for the man over on the far side instead of Nakamura. But again, good breakaway.
Mohamed Taki just having a few quiet words with Josh Little there, saying,
yeah,
be careful. He has already shown his 40th yellow card of the season. Mohamed Taki, that went to Zulkarnaen early in the game, after about 5-6 minutes. They've got to defend again here, LCS, into that near post area. Inamoto couldn't get on the end of it. It's hit the shoulder of Carmona and gone behind for another corner. Pressure mounting on LCS.
Yeah, that was a good ball in, an outswinger right into the 6-yard area. And it doesn't matter how you put that ball out, just get yourself in the way. He didn't really know much of it. Carmona.
That was his thigh, I thought it was his shoulder. Into that near post again. This time Manu Kumar is the man that blocks it clear. Corner count mounting for BG Tampines. Glenn Quay just laying it off. Igami does exactly the same. Nakamura, the left foot pinged into that far post area, and that was good defending in the end from Hafiz Noor. Dylan Fox had stayed forwards and was just hanging at that far post area.
Yeah, Hafiz needed to get that, as you said, just behind him. Fox was just lurking, just getting ready to get a header on.
Like a fox lurking. And actually, that's actually true. They do lurk. I know, Dylan, so you can say that. Don't worry. Another long throw then coming in from Shah Sarian. Fox the target, flicks it on. Big strong header, and it was a brave one as well from Carmona. Nobody going to the ball though. Nakamura. Fox just finding Zlatkovic. Yamashita. Zlatkovic, little drop of the shoulder, lets it run across his body. Nakamura. It's a lovely touch, you know. It's a very, very clever touch from it. He's let it come into his body and he's moved it away with his right foot.
Yeah. So it's brilliantly done from Nakamura as he receives the ball. There you go. He knew exactly what Zul was.
Just drawing that foul. Very clever. Tlakovic, big booming crossfield pass from him. Manquay scoops one in. Took a deflection. Has it gone behind? Yes, it has, said the official on the far side, the linesman, or the assistant referee as they're called now.
Yeah, the attempted cross ball. Zafman just couldn't keep it in play.
At the end, of course, where the ball was cleared off the line by Shazwan Buhari. Corner fired in. Great ball. Well, it's a little flick header that's gone just wide. Enomoto will be disappointed that he didn't do a little bit better there.
Yeah, only just wide there. We'll take a look at the replays. It's a good header. This Fox and Zlatkovic just couldn't get into the far post area to put the finishing touches.
Long ball forwards, and again Abdul Razak just couldn't keep that one in play. Fox just keeps it simple. So does Lankovic. Yamashita gets closed down by Lennart T. Nakamura does well. Goes past Stanakumar. Referee blows the whistle. Maybe another change as well by the looks of things. It does look as though Lennart T is coming out. It also looks like Haris Harun is as well. So possibly trying to save those two for midweek when they do take on Brunei DPMM. Henry Spence is coming on as well.
And Hafiz Noor takes the captaincy. Haikal Pasha will go out wide on the left-hand side.
So Haris off, Lennart T off. Keeping all his options open is Rankovic when it comes to that. So, as you mentioned, and quite rightly so, Lionel Tam will drop into that back line. Spence might just go that a little bit further forwards.
Yeah, he's playing in the Abdul Razak role, and Abdul Razak is going through the middle. Then Haikal Pasha goes out wide on the left-hand side.
It is only his second substitute appearance of the season. Gami goes out, as does Amral Adli. So wholesale changes from both sides at the moment. Joel Chu back on the field of play just to, excuse me, bring you up to speed on everything. Irfan Najib as well is the man that's come back into the fold. Here's Dylan Fox. And it's a chance to give those youngsters the opportunity to play as well. Also, as we mentioned, possibly have a little look, and again that's very close, and did Abdul Razak leave his foot in. Flag's gone up for offside, and well, Zafan picks up the ball at one end, and Shazwan Buhari is down injured at the other.
Yeah, it was a late challenge from Abdul Razak. The ball that was played to him was short, so Shazwan had to come out and clear it, but that was a late challenge there. Oof.
He's gone to block it though, hasn't he?
Yeah.
There's no intent to actually injure the player there.
Yeah, to be fair to Abdul Razak, he had to go for it anyways. The ball was not a good one. His first touch wasn't the best as well, Shazwan.
He's going into the book for that, so that's going to be yellow card number 41 that's going to be shown by Mohamed Taki. VAR did have a little look at that to see if it was worthy of anything more. Mr. Big Faruddin, you could just see him on the bench as well, helping Gavin Lee, one of the club legends, seems to have been there forever. And there are the fans from Tampines who have been very, very vocal throughout this game, not just this game but the whole season as well. And it's great, isn't it, when you've got an atmosphere like this, Sashi, and to anybody who's out there watching, particularly next season, get yourself down and come down and enjoy the atmosphere and the carnival stuff that goes on in and around the games. Come and support your league, come and support your teams, vitally important. And there is nothing like actually being at a game, a live sporting event. So the offside was given as that ball was launched forwards. Lionel Tanu came on as a sub in the Asian Champions League. Will take this one. Worked so hard to get themselves back in that game. Really was quite unbelievable, wasn't it? Lestienne scoring, what was it, 3-4 minutes into stoppage time. There was 10-11 minutes added at the end of the 90, and then just that little lapse of concentration defensively cost them. Lovely little cushion header in behind. Spence tried to fire it across goal, but last-ditch challenge. Lakovic slides in and gives LCS their first corner of this second half.
Yeah, showing good pace there. Spence just getting behind the defence, and it was a good touch in from Hafiz Noor.
So can they deliver quality? That is going to be the big question. And 4 blue shirts in and around the box, flick forwards. Abdul Razak on the turn. Did well to hold on to it, but just got his pocket picked in the end. It was an important touch as well from Irfan Najib. Glenn Quay helps it up the line. Looking to try and cause issues and problems. Van Hoosen doing well to defend. Zulkarnian trying to control things from the back. Lionel Tan firing that one forwards. Nice ball with the outside of the foot into the channel. Heiko making the run. Gets there first. Just finds Anakumar. Zulkarnian. Fishnor, who was handed the skipper's armband after Harris went off. Anakumar. And who's in? No real rush for the Lion City Sailors. Fishnor again. Josh Little just keeping things simple. He's had a good game in the middle of the park as the 17-year-old. A good debut for LCS. Come on with the ball in, and it was a decent ball as well. Dylan Fox, though, had to come a long way across to defend that. He's not happy with his midfielders for not closing down, but it was a good run from Abdul Razak.
Yeah, he was talking about that Kamona pass. Wasn't happy that the pass was played in. There's so much time and space, he had time to look up as well. He does well to come across, though.
making angles here, there and everywhere. A little bit of a score update for you. Hougang 2, Brunei DPMM 2. It's turning into a bit of a goal fest there. Nice ball, Abdul Razak in behind. Strike goes goal bound. Just blocked away again. Shazwan Buhari with an important save.
Yeah, it was a great run from Spence and pass as well from him. The final ball in for Abdul Razak was nicely weighted. And the shot to the near post was nicely saved by Shazwan Buhari. Yeah, this was the run, and that ball that was slipped in nicely onto the path of Razak.
Good save. Again, happy to keep the ball and retain possession. Well, he's entitled to do that. Henry Spence in just his second substitute appearance of the season, the youngster. You see a little bit disappointed with himself that he didn't do better, but he's going to try and take it on. But at least he's got the confidence to do that, Sashi.
Yeah, he's looked so lively there. Just his second touch, good one as well. And then, as you said, he's entitled to go for the shot, catch it cleanly.
You can't say they haven't had the chances or the opportunities, because they have. 20 minutes to go. Lovely little ball scooped over the top. Chance here to get the ball in. It's a poor ball in, but Hafiz Noor spectacularly clears his lines, and Henry Spence just mops things up.
Yeah, there was a good ball in from Nakamura for Irfan Najib, the right back, but needs to do better with the final delivery into the penalty area.
Well, they will be marching into Asia again. The Lion City Sailors, Asian Champions League 2, as it was this season, will be the same next. Of course, you go back when the club was Home United, and of course Aidil Shalim was in charge there and took them through to that AFC Cup zonal finals back in 2017. So there is a bit of history behind the club itself moving forward. Zaidi was obviously a very accomplished manager, now coaching overseas. He's in Kuching City now, if I'm not mistaken. Very good, accomplished Singapore coach, putting the Singapore flag on the map in Asia. It's always good to see that as well, isn't it? We've got Fandi, of course, who was at Pahang this last season. Of course, things are changing up with the Malaysian League as well, aren't they? As everybody's aware of. So that's why you need to come and support your local league and get behind your teams. There'll be another change in a minute. Looks like Tampines will be bringing off Kanori. And it is going to be the man that, for a second time, is going to hang his boots up, that will come on by the looks of things, Sashi.
Yeah, Yase Hanapi, good servant to the club and making his last appearance.
Illustrious career. Touch on that when he does actually come on, because Nakamura here has time and space and goes for goal, but again, straight down the throat of Zafran, no problem there.
Yeah, straight at the throat of Zafran. Hit it cleanly enough.
Again, just happy to keep that ball moving.
Irfan Najib, touch tight on Haikal Pasha.
Nice little turn from Zulkarnain It's a poor ball though, did all the hard work to win it back and then attack and gave it away. Enomoto looks to skip in round that sliding challenge of Carmona. Enomoto delivers. Kanori just underneath the ball. That's twice he's got into some very dangerous positions and could have scored tonight.
Yeah, exactly, and that is his last chance for him to make that score, and just got under the ball again. But Enomoto has been really, really good running the channels. Great pace there to go past Carmona. Clip one in for Kanori.
Well, here it is, the moment that every footballer dreads, but you do have to do it at some stage. Yasser Hanapi getting a standing ovation from the fans down on the touchline, as well he might. Started all the way back in 2008 at Jalan United. That spell as well, of course, with the Lions 12, didn't he? Actually won bronze medals in the Southeast Asian Games in 2007, 2009. So, I mean, you're talking, it's a career that spanned 20 years, Sash.
Yeah.
Ball just played over the top, a little bit of time and space now. And Quay pulling that one back, a little bit of time for Joel Chu. Again, straight at the keeper.
Yeah, good ball over the top by Irfan Najib initially for Glenn Quay. Just the cutback could have gone to two players, but it ended up to Joel Chu. Slightly behind him. Tried to go for the curler straight at the goalkeeper again.
That's been their biggest problem, hasn't it? Just the final touch, the final finish, as it were. They have had opportunities and chances in this game, BG Tampines Rovers. They are getting a better percentage of shots on target, though, as Abdul Razak breaks forwards. Spence wanted that played earlier, but has it now. Spence goes for the curler. Just hit the backside of Zlatkovic. Got his body in that position. Spence tried to bend it in that far corner.
That was great play from Abdul Razak. Very strong going past Irfan Najib. And once it got to Spence, knew exactly what he was doing there. Just looking for a slight space to get that shot off.
So corner number 5 of the match for LCS. Just a little over 10 minutes to go. Carmona the target, but again, Sazwan Buhari very, very comfortable coming and claiming that one.
Yeah, good take from the skipper.
We are hoping that the weather just seems to hold out. We did say it was a little bit darker earlier, Sashi, and it does look a little bit ominous. Keep everything crossed as there's not that long to go as these two sides will finish off their campaigns for this season. Given away and a chance here again. Spence, Henry Spence in behind. Dylan Fox again at full stretch with that sliding challenge. But I tell you, this boy's lively since coming on. He's caused a few issues.
Yeah, Yasser Hanapi counting his lucky stars there. It didn't end up in a goal, but this was great defending from Fox. He stayed with his man all the way, didn't jump into a challenge, didn't commit himself until the very last moment. And you're right about Spence, he's been superb since he's come on.
Maybe a little bit of a headache there for Rankovic with the semi-finals coming up. There he is, trying to make that dynamic run in behind as well. Just look as though Tampines, BG Tampines are going to make another change right at the end here as well. You can just see Faruddin, Mustafiq Faruddin, having a few words with one of the players down there. And it looks as though it's, is it Gallagher?
Now it's Ong Yuen.
Ong Yuen, the youngster, the 21-year-old.
Yeah, he's been quiet, Nakamura, especially in the second half. He's probably going to get a rest just ahead of that semis next week.
Both these teams will hope that they can get favourable results in the weekend. We get one more classic between the two. 1-0 on the 26th of February. Lion City Sailors beat BG Tampines. It was 2-2 back at the end of September. And their first game, who would forget that 5-0 thumping where Lion City Sailors got absolutely hammered. So still nothing to separate these two sides head to head, as it were, throughout the season. So we'd love one more game to see who comes out on top, wouldn't we?
Well, they could in the final if they do meet.
That's what I'm saying. If they can both get the job done in the week. Here's Shah. Out wide, Joel Chu. Joel Chu delivers, deflected into the hands of the keeper. Comfortable and easy in the end. Shah's not happy.
I think he was caught, and Hafiz is lucky because it could have easily been either a free kick or it's a free kick, but he definitely was caught. I think the referee knew that was going to be an advantage for Joel Chu. Was it really?
Studs raised. If you have a look at his foot there, it's off the ground and his studs were raised. Got to defend again here though. Lionel Tan concedes a corner. VAR did check that, but they wanted to see if it was inside the box and if it was going to be a penalty. Ong Yuen then is the man that's coming on, and it is Nakamura that's going off. So again, it's going to be the final change for BG Tampines Rovers. To the near post, Enomoto got there first, and you can see how frustrated Zlatkovic was. It was easier for him moving onto the ball as opposed to Enomoto, who was coming out, Sashi.
Yeah, and just a lack of communication there. Just a matter of just letting it go for Zlatkovic, coming in from a better position.
Both sides settle for the draw now, or will we see a little bit of late drama?
Nah, I don't think so. I think both will still try to go for a winner.
Here he's on. That's Shah in that wide area. Going to try and pull the strings. He's on. Only his second appearance as a sub as well, the youngster. Been given a chance, the 21-year-old. There he is, trying to thread it through. The run from Enomoto wasn't there though. Ball just launched clear by Zafan. Ong again, tidying things up. Dylan Fox just fires it in. Yasser Hanabi needs support. Yasser doing well to retain possession there. Ball goes out wide, Glenn Quay back inside, Ong. Happy to keep the ball. For Najib joining in as well. Enemoto closed down quickly again. Josh Little it was that put the challenge in. Played down the line and cut back. Hanapi almost on the end of it. Hafiznur was the man that defended well yet again. It's amazing really when you think of how attack-minded Hafiznur's been throughout the years, that he's playing that disciplined role in the wide position, Sashi, the wing-back position.
Yeah, exactly, and that's a very good ball that was clipped in. Hafiznur does well to be in that position.
You know what they say, you never stop learning in football, always evolving. Zulkarnaen just couldn't find Spence. Will we get this goal? Colette Wong seemed to think that we'd be getting goals at the half-time show. Fortunately, hasn't transpired that way this second half. Long making the run again, going forwards, looking very lively since he's come on. That's a good challenge from Anu Kumar. And now a chance because there are 4 blue shirts breaking forwards. One of them is Abdul Razak. He has Spence in the middle. He looks up. In the end, Anu Kumar. Little reverse ball back inside, the twist and the turn, and the shot is blocked wide. Well, that was a real chance, Heikel. It was that created that yard for himself, but you've got Dylan Fox and Yamashita just blocking him out and closing down the space.
Yeah, almost got caught by a sucker punch here, LCS, but it all was down to Anumandan. He was superb in winning the ball in his own half and then set the tone for the attack. And look at Spence there. He wanted the ball from Michael Pasha.
Couple more changes happening now. Enrico Silveira is coming on. And so is 16-year-old Andy Riefke. Well, we're going to finish this as an under-18s game by the looks of things. Here is Riefke, finds Spence. Spence pulls the trigger, but pulls it wide.
Yeah, this one definitely going for goal. Just seemed to be trying a little bit too hard, Spence. You can see it in the way he is so frustrated with himself after a shot or after attempted cross.
So time ticking by very quickly. Hanapi, the ball played back inside, gets it back from Zlatkovic. Shah on it on. All the Tampines players seeming to want to be involved in what's going on. Long playing it wide. Glenn Quay delivers. Meinl Tam with a header away, only as far as Zlatkovic. Dylan Fox will pick up this loose ball. Here's Shah again. Just 2 minutes to go. Big deep ball. Joel Chu with the little flick back inside. Yes, Hanapi creating that yard. Enemoto in behind Enemoto! Right at the end, it's a sucker punch, but you have to say deserved from BG Tampines Rovers. They've created the most opportunities, the better goal-scoring opportunities, and Enemoto finally finds himself in the right place at the right time, courtesy of an assist from the veteran who's leaving the game after tonight, Yasser Hanapi. But Enomoto twisted, turned, put it in the back of the net and gives the Stags the lead.
Yeah, fully deserved. Enomoto there. When the ball came in, he was in line with the last line of defense. This was a good ball in that was slipped in. And the finish was a good one as well. Enomoto who scored in the second minute from an offside position. And this time was very, very close as well.
Poor defending though. You've got to deal with that. You can't allow the striker to have you on the turn like that. There you go. There's his 20 for the season. So he will be very, very happy with that. And you can see Yasser Hanapi just having a word there with Mohamed Taghi saying, "Oh, come on, let me have an assist in my last game, please."
Oh, I think it's going to be really close this time. Again, we're having information that it's going to be checked.
Yeah, but for what? I mean, that's a goal. Come on, do me a favour, Sassy. That's a goal. No, it's not.
It's offside.
It's offside. So Enomoto, for the second time in the game, has the ball in the back of the net, but is considered offside. Oh, there it is. We didn't see that one, Sashi.
Yeah.
That's a very, very, very good decision.
Very good call.
That's a very good decision.
Well, it's not to be.
We're not having any goals, so Colette Wong, who's watching on back in the studio over on the far side, will be a little bit disappointed that we haven't had these goals. We thought we'd had one right at the end, but the 6 minutes of stoppage time may still give us that little bit of drama. So again, still very little to choose between these two sides. Yeah. There are going to be a couple of very interesting interviews at the end, by the way, Sashi.
Yeah, and still, you know, I think over 90 minutes, the team that probably deserves to score, that probably aged it as well in terms of goal-scoring chances, is the BG Tampines. You know, I think they've played the better football, good possession on the ball. And we're not talking in terms of in spurts. They've played it throughout the 90 minutes, so they've done well, BG Tampines.
Yeah, they have a lot more shots and a lot more on target this second half. Their percentage has gone a lot higher. Still time here though. On clips one in, bit of a time and space. Oh, what a save! That is a brilliant save from Zafan in goal. One of the saves of the season. He just had to react to that. A stunning, stunning save after Joel Chu should really have put the ball in the net.
Oh, that was a great first touch, but again from there, he should have scored. He just guessed it correctly, and his reflexes was very, very good, Zafan. And he had to score, Joel Chu.
How many times have we said that in this game? It was, of course, Igami earlier in the match that should have had two. That should have been in the back of the net from Joel Chu. And again, I told you, Sashi, one name, Boris Kipotovic. If he'd have still been around, would things have been different? That's the big, big question.
Well, we still have time for either one of these teams to just snatch the winner. Almost played 3 of the 6.
Wow. I can't believe that. That looks so much like a nice goal from BG Tampines, but I tell you what, VAR has been brought in to do a job, and it did its job absolutely spot on and correctly there. What do we know, Sash? We're just ex-players. Chance here though on the counter-attack. Will we have this late drama? Shah driving forwards. It's still Shah. Hits Lionel. Asking for a handball. Not given. Here's the man who should have scored, Joel Chu. On just keeping things simple.
Glenn Quay wanted it played into space. Didn't get it.
See what he was trying to do there, but easily picked off in the end, and a little bit of a wobble from Zafan in goal. It was that was back there and couldn't make anything happen. side just trying to make things move again. Long plays that one forwards. Carmona with a header. Both players had to be brave there, and Irfan Najib did well to come away with the ball. Yasser Hanapi plays it down the line. No nonsense clearance. Glenn Quaid trying to skip past Carmona, couldn't. Yasser delivers, corner. This one's not finished yet. 90 seconds to go of this season for both of these teams in the league. They still have a minimum of 1 game left in the Singapore Cup. Both sides will be in action on Tuesday, but this could be the last league action for both of these teams.
And this could be the last opportunity of the game.
Lots of yellow shirts forward. Senamoto couldn't get there. Now a counter-attack. Could that kill PG Tampines? No, Yasser Hanapi's on the ball, who does well to retain possession. Slankovic helps it back inside. Flag's gone up for offside though. Seems to have been offside an awful lot tonight, PG Tampines Rovers.
Yeah, this was the corner. Just Inamoto just couldn't get over the ball.
Took on his shirt there, Sashi, was there?
Yeah, just a little bit there.
There's your offsides look. I told you they've been offside quite a few times tonight. 11 times they've been caught offside. 2 of those have ended up in goals and have been cancelled as well. So into the dying embers, the last few seconds of the league campaign for both of these teams. Dylan Fox heads that one forward. The referee puts the whistle to his mouth. Doesn't finish the game. As well though. Abdul Razak has gone down. It was just a clash of heads by the looks of things with Dylan Fox. Dylan for a good few years, even when he played back in Australia as well. And he's not that type of player to be swinging arms around. I think this could be it. It's actually a little drop ball and blow the whistle.
Yeah, exactly.
Abdul Razak's back to his feet, so that's good news. He has kept the whistle in his mouth and he has blown the final whistle. It's the end of the season, Sassy. Lion City Sailors were champions. They deserved that throughout the course of the season. But Tampines deserved a little bit more than a draw tonight.
Exactly. You know, they totally dominated this game in terms of chances, in terms of possession. And in the end, it wasn't to be. It ended up here.
It wasn't to be for them tonight. They've had the ball in the back of the net twice. Enemoto, but both ruled out for offside. Gavin Lee will have a little bit of work to do during the off-season to make sure that his side come back that bigger and stronger next year. But I tell you, it was a stunning save right at the end from Zarfan that managed to keep Tampines at bay. As we mentioned, Enemoto in the 2nd minute and in the 89th minute, so 2 minutes before, as soon as the game started, and within 2 minutes of it finishing, he's had the ball in the back of the net. But VAR intervened and ruled both out correctly for offside decisions. So plenty to do for these two teams in midweek when they enter into the Singapore Cup semi-finals. But tonight, in their final league match, it's finished BG Tampines Rovers 0, Lion City Sailors 0.
Many thanks to Shashi Kumar and Paul Maysfield on comms out at the Jalan Besar Stadium. 0-0. This one finishes. We heard the interviews with Gavin Lee earlier on in the pre-show saying he really wanted Tampines to finish on a high with their last win game of the season. As we take a look at Yasser Hanapi, this being his last and very final SPL match of his career, having announced his retirement just a couple of days ago. What an amazing career he has had with legends of the game in Izwan Mabud and Haris Haron. It's been an incredible career, hasn't it, for Yasser Hanapi?
Yeah, I mean, we spoke about it earlier in the build-up to this match. He's played more than 400 matches in his career. Majority of those have been with BG Tampines. You know, he's been around for a very long time. He's played for Singapore as well. And nice touch, wonderful moment for him. Too bad he couldn't get the assist.
Came close. He did his part.
He certainly did his part. A little bit unfortunate. But yeah, fantastic. Congratulations to Yase on a really good career. Excellent career.
Absolutely. As I was saying, Gavin Lee, earlier in the pre-match interview, he was saying how he really wanted BG Tampines to end their season on a high. They came so close, didn't quite happen. Let's take a look at the highlights because they very close. Went to took a 1-0 lead, in the second minute. Inamoto had the ball in the back of the net, and we were all celebrating Tampines' first goal. But in the end, after a check, this was ruled for offside.
Yeah, again, it's the right call. That's why you have the technology there to make sure that it's within the laws of the game. And you can see it right here. As it's poked forward into Inamoto, he's just offside. And he does well to poke it past the goalkeeper, but offside position. It is an offence and interfering play there. And that wasn't allowed. And here you go with Shazwan in goal. He was, I thought, came up with a couple of really good saves in that first half. Wasn't troubled too much in the second. I'm not quite sure which part of the body it hits here for the goalkeeper.
I have no idea how that stayed out.
Good save here from Shazwan, and then the second one that comes into him. I don't know if that goes off the back of his leg or something.
It could have. Actually, you're right. It might have been the back of his heel.
Yeah, somehow he keeps it out, and that's all that matters from Tampines' perspective.
Incredible. We had a couple of chances at the other end as well. Inamoto, he had a really good game. The only thing he didn't do was get into the back of the net.
Yeah, very mobile. He was running into channels, making good movements in behind the Sailors' defense, timing his runs pretty well for the majority of them anyway. Good touch, and it's a nice save from Zafan. He had a very solid outing, Zafan, in goal for the Lion City Sailors.
Yeah, Inamoto should have had an assist here, but Arya Igami did this instead.
Yeah, should have been in. I mean, BG Tampines have had some great chances in this match, lots of clear-cut opportunities. And this was one of many. He should have put this away, just off balance. Maybe he's at full stretch. He's
wow, you're being really...
I'm trying to be kind to him.
You are.
Because this one is an absolute disaster as well from Arya Igami. I don't know how he's overthought that, how he's missed that, but he should be putting that one away at the very least. He should have scored both. He could have even had a hat-trick, I think, in the first half.
Absolutely.
Has several looks around and somehow puts that well over.
Yeah, as they say, K Sara at the other end, 38th minute. Oh, that came inches from going in.
Yeah, Inamoto again does well in the set piece. He's strong. He just holds off his marker, and decent timing, but he just couldn't quite direct it in towards goal. You can see what he was trying to do.
Absolutely. That was the 60th minute, by the way, And then 10 minutes later, Abdul Razak with a chance for the Lion City Sailors. And, yep, leg pops out, no goal.
Yeah, difficult angle. Very difficult to score from there. And he's going away from goal. It's not much to hit. He needs to go towards the far post to try to go high at the near post with the power. He's unable to get either one of them. If you hit it low in those positions, goalkeeper, they tend to be favorites in those moments.
Well, we had a final frantic 6 or 7 minutes of this match. Inamoto! But in the end, it was ruled out for offside.
Yeah, I mean, it was always going to be close. I think even in real time, you're thinking that's going to be looked at because it looked really tight. And as Yase plays it, he's actually off. So it is the right call, it is the right decision. Frustration for him, more frustration for Inamoto. But unfortunately, I mean, that's the laws of the game. This one should have been put away as well. Joel Chu with a great chance and a brilliant save from Zafan. And I feel really happy for Zafan because, you know, he made a few mistakes in their last outing for the Lion City Sailors in that cup game. And I think he's redeemed himself here. You know, he's come under some strong criticism. And I saw him after that match. He wasn't looking too happy, and I can completely understand why. So I'm really happy that he's, for him, that tonight he's put in a strong performance for this side and made some big saves and comes away with a clean sheet.
Absolutely. 0-0 the final score at the Jalan Besar Stadium. The numbers look very even, but when you look at it, Tampines really should have won this one by a goal at least, because they had so many clear chances, at least 3 clear chances.
Right.
Now, we've been talking about the fact that they have one more match to play, and that's a Singapore, well, maybe even more than one more match, because they have a second leg of a semi-final to play in the Singapore Cup. And I'm talking about BG Tampines Rovers here, who fielded quite a strong lineup today. How will their performance today perhaps affect them going into the second leg of the semi-final on Tuesday?
I don't think it'll have much of an impact. I don't think that, because I feel that it's a very different challenge, you know, going into that Singapore Cup game, 1-1, and, you know, this was done and dusted. Maybe they'll feel there are elements in this match where, yeah, we created lots of chances, work on our finishing a little bit, but it was also not the strongest Sailors side, so we expected BG Tampines to really dominate here, and it'll be a very different challenge against BG Pathum United in the Singapore Cup. So they will have some of that momentum, players getting minutes, players getting good solid minutes in this one. But I think it's a completely different animal, that second leg match in the Singapore Cup.
All right, so we just saw there the highlights over at the Jalan Besar Stadium. There's another match that was played full-time right now at our Tampines hub between Hougang United and Brunei DPMM. Hougang United would take the lead in the second minute, early lead, thanks to Shurai Yokoyama.
Yeah, lovely finish. This is just really beautiful because he opens up his body, tries to aim towards that far post and finds the bottom corner very nicely.
Yeah, Brunei DPMM, though, would level things up. This man, Dubs Ilkaniaks, how good is he?
He's been a very good signing for DPMM. I think it took him about time to get going, but once he started to find the back of the net, he's been scoring for fun for this side, and he's been a really solid presence for them.
Second half, they just returned from the break, and Ilkaniaks does this. That is classy.
Yeah, stunning strike from Ilkaniaks. You know, didn't want to waste any time. Took it early, and perhaps that just caught the goalkeeper off guard, and a lovely goal.
But this was far from done. 2-1 became 2-2. Hougang United with the equalizer through Dejan Racic, his 24th goal of the season.
That's a brilliant finish from Racic. Comes into him, takes it first time, nice and composed, and into the top corner.
Yep, that was in the 68th minute. 10 minutes later, Brunei DPMM, Miguel Oliveira, and that would turn out to be the winner.
Yeah, remember what I said earlier about Razak's shot at the near post, and I said he either goes far post or he goes high with power, and that's what Oliveira has done there. He's gone for elevation and he's gone for power, and that's how he's beaten the goalkeeper to score that goal.
So 3 goals for Brunei DPMM, who should actually be up to 5th above Albirex Niigata. That's very, very consequential for Brunei DPMM and puts a lot of pressure on Albirex Niigata tomorrow night when they take on Balestier Khalsa. Just the 2 points between the two teams now, and that's going to set up a brilliant clash between those two, Albirex and Balestier, in their final match of the season.
Yeah, I think both sides will want to go out on a bit of a high. You know, you always want to finish strong if you can, as we have a look at what's going on in match week 36 so far.
That's right, and we've got another match on top of that over at the Jurong East Stadium. Tanjung Pagar United, remember, just 3 wins for the team this season. Can they finish on a high and grab one more? It's going to be a tough ask, though, against Geylang International. But 2 great games to look out for, so if you're in Singapore, do head out to one of those two, either at the Bishan Stadium or the Jurong East Stadium. I've just been given this statistic, Roshan. 11 times they were called offside. I'm talking about BG Tampines. 11 times. What do you say to that?
It happens. I mean, congratulations to the Lion City Sailors for keeping a good defensive line. I mean, there's that defensive discipline there. Everyone held their line, and from a defensive perspective, you'd be happy with that. From an attacking sense, perhaps you're saying just have a bit more discipline to get yourself back onside once more, and maybe...
Well, easier said than done, the heat of the situation.
Yeah, of course, yes.
Okay, before we wrap up, I'm just going to ask you one last question before. This is my final show of the season. I'm hoping to be back next season, but just your final thoughts of the last 12 months in the Singapore Premier League.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've really enjoyed it. I think there have been matches that I've had a lot of fun covering. You know, teams that I've really enjoyed watching. I think the top 4 were brilliant, and it's very different, I think, from years gone by in the league. I can see that the style of play is progressing, and it's becoming a lot more interesting, a lot more exciting to watch in that sense. You're seeing the growth of players, you're seeing the growth of teams. So I've had a good campaign covering the games. I've really enjoyed it, and we've got a Singapore Cup to come. I've enjoyed working with you as well, and all the other colleagues. So,
feeling is mutual.
Yeah, thanks Colette. So yeah, looking forward to more of Singapore football.
Yep, and to the next season coming up, the 2025-2026 season, which will be kicking off in a few months' time. But till then, on behalf of Rish Roshan Rai, I am Colette Wong. You guys stay safe, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.